Hey, Ty Cohen here. One of the biggest mistakes that most entrepreneurs and business owners make is they kind of peel back, right? They peel back on marketing, they peel back on spending, they peel back on advertising when things start to slow down, when the economy starts to dip, when business starts to slow down a bit. And then instead, they're making a mistake that most business owners make, that most entrepreneurs make, and they simply can get out of that by increasing their advertising efforts, right? By being a little bit more diligent and understanding the numbers, by being a little bit more conscious of what's bringing in the sales, right? By being a little bit more conscious. Let me turn the light on in here. We're actually at a hotel here in New York. By being a little bit more conscious as to what's converting a prospect into a customer, and then doubling down on that one thing, right? Taking all of your efforts and doubling down on that one thing. If you've got something that is really selling well, and you've got 3 or 4 different products, your job should be to get as many people on this planet to be aware of that product. Even if you don't think that they can benefit from it. And here's the reason why. Because they may have a significant, they may have a spouse, they may have a child, a grandchild, they may have a friend, a coworker, a neighbor, a peer, right? They may have a fellow student that could benefit from it. And by you making it your mission to make as many people on the planet as possible aware of what it is that you have, you now build up this level of awareness in people that may not even need it, but know someone else who needs it. And more importantly, know someone else times 2, times 3. Sometimes people will know 2 or 3 people, right? For example, you guys might have seen me publishing my new book, Kindle Publishing Secrets, right? You might have seen me, promoting my book, Kindle Publishing Secrets, everywhere. And you may say, hey, Ty, like you're putting this thing in front of people that are not even interested in publishing Kindle books. Absolutely right. Because up until the moment that they see this book, they may not have been interested in publishing Kindle books. They may not have even known that the opportunity was out there, that it even existed, right? But now that I plant the seed in their head, guess what? It now becomes an opportunity. It now becomes something that they are aware of, right? So you wouldn't believe how many customers we get just because we're positioning something in front of them at the right time, or at a time that may not be the right time, but soon in the future, when it is the right time, they now remember, right? They now can go back into this. They can go back into their mental Rolodex and say, you know what? Man, I thought about generating or creating streams of cash flow or streams of passive income. I remember this guy, Ty Cohen, talking about Kindle publishing. Let me look him up. So you see how that works? Now, here's the other thing. Here's where it gets even better. Remember I said your job is to position that product or service that you have to as many people as possible. There's 7-8 billion people on the planet. Your job should be to try to reach as many of those people as possible, even if you don't think that they're interested or have a need or could use your product or service, right? Remember I said that. The reason why that's so important is because, again, like I said earlier, they may know someone else who needs your product or your service. And who would they believe, who is so much more like believable talking about your product or service? Is it you? If that person who may need it sees a commercial or sees a Facebook ad or a YouTube ad with you talking about how great your product or service is, or does it become much more believable when they're hearing it from their aunt or their uncle or their wife or their husband or their sister or their brother, who may have also seen your commercial, didn't have a need for it, but realized that you had a need, and now they suggested your product or service to you. Hey, Billy, man, I know that you've been trying to write these books, or I know that you're interested in making some side income, or you look for a side hustle. I saw this guy, Ty Cohen, and he was talking about this book, Kindle Publishing Secrets. I wrote down the link for you. You should go in and check it out. Do you know how many people, how many new customers we get as a result of someone else telling them about one of our products or services? That's why it's your job to shout from the rooftops. Look, I don't know if, hopefully you guys can see how high I am right here, right? We're up on the 27th floor in New York. But your job should be to stand on top of the highest building, not literally, right? Figuratively. And shout from the rooftops about your product or service. And that's it.